Some of you are going to think that I'm crazy for talking about the basics of Loop when it's been out for quite some time. But Microsoft just barely made it available to some organizations, and even then, they didn't get all of the features. So, this use case is for those people. If you're not familiar with Microsoft Loop, it's useful for collaborating in a flexible shared workplace. It's especially useful with projects that have a lot of moving parts. You can break work into reusable pieces. It's good for brainstorming and planning and helps to reduce duplication. I'm going to pretend to be one of the organizations that has limited access to Microsoft Loop. The primary way to access it is by going to Microsoft Teams. I am in my demonstration team in the demonstration channel. At the top of the screen in the content area, where you have the tabs, you can click the plus sign to add a tab. Here, you can create a brand new page or add an existing page. The existing pages can come from places like a Loop component that somebody shared with you in a Teams chat, or even team meetings. Whenever you are in a meeting and you're taking notes, that's actually supported by a Loop component. For today's demonstration, I'm going to create a new page. Now you can give your page any title you want that matches your project. When the page is created, it is automatically added as a tab at the top of the Teams channel. It's also saved in the SharePoint site behind the team. At the bottom of the page, when it's first created, you'll see some buttons to add some common Loop components. If you're anything like me, you might find some templates useful to get some ideas of how you can structure your Loop page. So I'm going to show you a quick trick on how to find 24 templates created by Microsoft. In the upper left-hand corner of the Loop page, you can click on the Loop icon. This will take you to the Loop application. At the bottom of the page, you will see a few templates and then the template gallery. When you click the template gallery, you'll see the full list of Microsoft templates. I encourage you to scroll through them and look at how some of the components within Loop can be used to streamline your project. If I were to select a template or make any changes here in the Loop application, it would automatically synchronize to the Loop page in Microsoft Teams. I'm going to switch back to Teams so that we can look at a few ways that we can start building our Loop page from scratch. One of the first things I like to do is add a purpose statement so that the team knows what the Loop page is for and how to use it. The default component is a paragraph. I can click in the blank space and type my statement. But one of the benefits of Loop is that there are multiple ways to call attention to the different parts of the page. One way to do that is to add a callout. To add the callout, I can go to any blank space on the page and click the plus icon to see the component list. Or you can type the slash command to see the same list. From there, I will select Callout. Now we have a block that has been inserted with the red pin icon. It is visually different, so it does call attention to the information in the box. Now that we've added the first component to our page, the suggestions at the bottom have gone away. So from here on out, we're going to use the slash command to pull up the list of components. Now there are several here, and I encourage you to scroll through and play with these a bit to find the ones that work best for your project. But I'm going to show just a few that I've seen used across multiple projects. The first thing we're going to do is add a header to organize the page. Now, when you type the slash command, you can start typing what you're looking for to narrow down the list. And here you can see that you have choices for a regular header or a collapsible header. I will demonstrate both, but I'll start with a regular header. One of the things that I like to do, and you will find in several of the Microsoft templates, is add emojis to create some colorful visual distinctions between the sections of information. So we have some instructions for our event, and I like to use this clipboard icon for those instructions. And then I'm just going to copy and paste some sample context that I might add. Another popular component is tables. You can add a simple two-column table and then build it out to be what you need, or you can scroll down the list until you see this template section. And several of the ones here are basically tables that have already been customized for things like a Kanban board, a progress tracker, or a voting table. I'm just going to add a basic table, and the default column type is text. Then I'm going to change the column names. And then once you do that, if you need more columns, you can hover over the end of the table or even between columns until you see a plus sign. When you click that, it will insert a new column. So let's say I need a notes column. Now, what I can do is I can hover over it and click on the column and drag and drop it into a different order so that I now have the roles, who it's assigned to, and the information that they will need to successfully complete their role within this event. As you start adding more information to your table, you might need some help finding a particular entry. This is where the filter comes in handy. You can select a column to filter by, choose a condition such as equals, and then type what you're looking for. In this example, I'm going to narrow it down by a specific role, but a really good example of this is for FAQ lists when you're looking for a specific answer to a large list of questions. Then, when you're done, you can go back to the filter and either clear it or delete it so that you can reset your list of information. A moment ago, I mentioned that the default column type is text, but let's say this assigned to column needs to be a people picker. I can click the drop down, go to column type, and select person. Now you could type in the name of a person and it will pull in their contact information from the global address list. So, for example, I'm going to quickly assign myself as the event leader. I quickly added some more information to our loop page, and this time I used collapsible headers so that you can see the benefit of having more information on the page, but being able to hide it when you don't necessarily need it. In this example, we have some information for the participants and for the event staff. I'm not going to make you watch me build the entire event template. Hopefully, these few examples have given you an idea of how to add different things to your loop page to organize and collaborate on your project.